to another brand new episode here on Fs25. And we all hate Walter. Oh dear. Anyway, what are we up to today? Well, we've got quite a bit going on today, actually, to be fair. So, we've got the usual routine morning jobs to do, which is sell the wood and any other products that are full, which includes the dairy now. So we've got to sell that sort of all that stuff from the dairy now. So we've got the cheese there, we've got mozzarella and different things, and we'll get that sold. We've got no food at the animals, so they need refeeding, and we also need to make a total mixed ration. So that needs doing, and we also need to go and empty the sheep as well, because I haven't emptied them for a couple of days either. So we need to go and do that. We've obviously now got furniture that needs picking up, although we'll let that fill completely up, in all fairness, just because, as I say, we may as well just let that fill up. We're in no great rush to sell everything every day. It's good to hold, see, like in sort of real farming terms, it's good to hold products back sometimes. So on the second farm that I worked on, you'll find that they'll have a couple of sheds of wheat or whatever, sometimes rape, and what they would do is they would hold them back. So you would have your sheds that you would be selling, to your contracts and stuff like that, but they'd always have at least one, massive grain store full of usually wheat. It was usually wheat that they held on to, especially if the price was high. And what they would do is every time the farm needed a little bit of cash flow and needed a little bit of money, to do whatever, what they would do is then sell the wheat out of those two barns. And then, because you were selling to merchants, you would get paid almost straight away, within the month, and you would then have, sort of cash flow to, to sort of be able to trade with again. So we'll use the furniture. I tend to sort of use a few products like that on FS, whether it be 19, 22, whatever. I'll always hold something back that's probably not the highest in value, but if you've got a lot of it, is quite good value to sell. Just purely because it means that if there is a point where I do need a little bit of money and I'm running out, I've got a backup plan. I've got something that I can, sell, and we can go from there, sort of thing. Like, so, yeah, it's always good to do that, definitely, as I say, and that's what we'll do. But so we've got that to do. We've got a few things to move around. I must also, as well, get some wood chips sold, whether it be this episode or maybe next episode. Again, wood chips is something that I'm not always desperate to rush out and get gone. Again, with a very low amount, they're not really worth that much. Obviously, if you've got 2 or 3 trailerfuls and you can fill the train, suddenly it becomes worth it again. So again, we'll just hold on to them. But yeah, so once we get our sort of morning job routines done, we've then got harvesting to do. So we've got the peas to harvest. You remember that we drilled them in the last episode. I have moved a couple of months on again, because in between crops growing and stuff like that, this is pretty much all I do. It's just every day I'm just moving products around, and I could fill a week's worth of videos just doing that. But I sort of kind of thought, well, you don't want to see it all the time, so, well, I'm assuming you don't want to see it all the time. I'm not sure I would if I was watching YouTube videos, so I tend to sort of think, well, it's no problem, I'll just do it off camera, and then like today, today is a day when we've got other, sort of more exciting work to do as well. Something I do have to do in the mornings, otherwise, like I say, it's our cash flow basically. It's our cash flow, and it's blooming good cash flow at that, to be fair. But as I say, we've got these now just to sell off, and then what we'll do is we'll go and fetch those prefab walls, and then I then need to go and move the wool about so that we can get some rope, because that's what we're desperate for. We need rope to be able to carry on with our playground making equipment. So as I say, we need some rope as well. But yeah, hope you're doing well. Hope you're all having a good day. My day's not going too bad. Got up late this morning, so I'm a little bit behind schedule. But whisper that very quietly, because if anyone in the household asks what time I got up at the normal time. But yeah, I was up a bit late this morning, and I don't know about you, but I find that if I get up after when I normally get up, so like I usually get up anywhere from sort of four to six, somewhere in there is usually when I get up. I don't sleep all that good, and to be fair, and so it's usually by sort of four. Not every morning, I'm not going to say that, but by 4 in the morning, if I can't sort of keep dropping off to sleep for half hour or whatever, I tend to think, oh, do you know what, sod this, I'll get up. So I then get up, sort of thing. But yeah, today is a rarity where I actually slept quite well, but it's a bit of a I mean, that does look ridiculous, but I'm not coming back for one. We'll have to do that by in cab by the looks of that. Game not happy with me. But yeah, so hang on, can we just stretch it out? No. Can we lift over that? Yeah, there we go. And then we can go back in again. There we go. Yeah, so I'd say not sleeping too great at the moment. Oh, hang on. I didn't put the straps back on. Do you think we can make it like that? It's a good job I'm not this. I mean, this save is serious in terms of but we are having a bit of fun on it too. And if I'd done that on a save where I'm being ultra serious, I would have had to have stopped recording, completely reloaded the game, and done all of that again, just so that in my head that sits right. But with this with this, it's funny. I don't know why, but the trailer seems to be leaning an awful lot one way. Right, can we make it through the door? Ooh, just. Now I gotta try and make this corner, but I gotta try and be on the left-hand side here, so that the one on the outside goes through the trigger as well. That should be fine. Right, I think they all went in. Sometimes they tend to shoot off. We might find at some point, we're happily doing it. There's a wall there, James. We're happily doing our jobs elsewhere on the map, and we'll come across the prefab wall. There we go. Well, it will help with cash flow. I can say that much. Right, we'll now go off and get the wall, and we'll also need to do the cheese as well. But I might do the wall first, because we've got to go quite a way away from the farm to do that one. But I'm going to turn over to a little bit of time. That's just because you don't want listening to me rabbit on about nothing, and also as well, as I say, the quicker we can get this done, the quicker that we can get on with some harvesting. Like I say, we've got the wheat to harvest today, and we've got the peas to harvest as well today. So You know, we need to crack on with that. We've got the grass that needs cutting again, so we'll need to do that. And usual with the grass, one harvest will be silage and one harvest will be hay. So that's what we'll be doing. But anyway, I'm going to switch over, as I say, to a little bit of time lapse. We'll crack on, we'll get this done, and then we'll be able to get the combine and the pea viner out. I did buy a pea viner. I bought a pea viner off the... It's the trouble when you're playing with keyboard. Sometimes I hit the key a little bit too hard, and it's a bit sensitive to it. I have turned the sensitivity down quite a lot, but it's still a bit sensitive to it sometimes. Right. I was literally about to drive past. Alright, we are going to separate these as well. So we are going to give the we're going to let the sheep roam in here, and then we're going to give the goats a home of their own, because as I say, it's not convenient. But I'm surprised at how much wool there is. Our sheep and goats must have multiplied, which is good. Anyway, whoop, let go. My mouse isn't working properly again. I'm going to go over to some time lapse. I'll see you in a minute.
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up, I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. The pain makes it real, I don't wanna feel, I just wanna kill the bad thoughts and steal a good thought and feel. I'm just lost, I feel, I'm just lost, I feel. I need time to heal, I can't steer the wheel, cause this drive it kills, and it gives me chills. A nice road it feels, I slip off the peel, and crash all the steel. Will I ever heal? I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home.
so we're busy in the peas. I had to stop selling all the products in the end because for some reason the trailer wouldn't accept any more of the products. So the flatbed just kept saying, please unload the trailer before trying to load it. And I'm thinking the trailer is empty, you know, and there's nothing on there. But it just wouldn't do it. So in the end, I just sort of thought, well, do you know what? We can be busy doing other stuff today, so it doesn't matter too much. We can, you know, as I've said before, I'm not in a huge rush to sell them, but we'll just sit here and wait for him to do the corner. Don't want to get too in the way. So I used to do this job with, not with the tractor. I used to have a John Deere 6155R, I think, 155R. I think it was. I'm sure it was a 155R. But this exact trailer, so it's absolutely fantastic. This is in the game. But yeah, so we used to go around. I used to just follow pea harvesters around. We'd be more than one. We had 6 pea viners in the field at any one time. But I don't mind it doing this because it helps it to turn in the corners. And this is how you would do it in real life. But don't miss bits. Like, that's annoying me. But anyway, our cotton's not looking too bad. As I say, we're, you know, sort of looking forward to harvesting that. We're getting a little bit of money put aside now, so you know, we'll soon be able to afford a cotton harvester. Whether we go for the Case or whether we go for the John Deere, I'm not too sure yet. Ideally, I'd like to go for the John Deere, but that is considerably more money. But again, it's a non-stop machine, so you know, it's always good to have a non-stop machine. I was rather hoping the Viner was going to go the other way around because the unloading auger is now, or the unloading belt, I should say, because it's not an auger on here, but is now facing into the crop, which is I don't like that. I don't. In terms of farming simulator, it doesn't make no difference. If you don't have crop destruction on it, makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. And I don't play with crop destruction on anyway, just because I'd sort of, if the AI workers were perfect, and this is one of the reasons why I don't do it, is because on Fs25, so on Fs22, I think he's full. He is. So this is the reason why I use this trailer, because it goes right underneath this elevator, and there's not much chance of them connecting and colliding. Whereas any other trailer on the game doesn't go underneath. You know, have to be right on the edge, so it just literally throws it up over the top. Whereas with this, there is quite a nice bit of clearance. So you know, you can sort of unload the trailers properly. But yeah, this is what I used to do. I only did it 2 summers. I didn't do it every year. You know, some years I'd have ploughing and that to do. But it'd be anywhere between 6 and 9 viners in the field, and just there'd be me and another tractor and trailer running up and down all day, just obviously emptying the viners and then taking them back to you know, lorries that were waiting on the ends of the field, and then obviously you'd load the lorries. They go straight off to Birdseye usually, which you know, they would then take the peas in, and 12 hours later those peas would have been processed either via going for frozen peas or mixed veg bags of peas, you know, with peas in them. Usually frozen. Ours was mainly frozen peas that ours was used for, and within 12 hours of us taking them from the field in the lorry to the factory, within that 12 hours, the peas would be on the supermarket shelf. But knowing that, according to Birdseye, most of the peas within that 12 hours would have been sold and bought by the end consumer. It was an amazing thing. I was lucky enough to go to the factory. So one day I'd been talking to Adrian, which was farm manager, and I'd been saying to him for a long time, "What on earth are you doing?" You can't harvest peas that way. You've got to go forwards, my friend. What on earth? Surely they've not broken the bloody helper system now. I'm not using anything other than the in-game helper. That's all I'm using. Or is he going to go all the way to the end there? Let's go and investigate. But yeah, I said to Adrian, I said, like, you know, I'd like to one day, if the opportunity was to arise, to have a ride out on the. Oh, he's going diagonally across the field. What on earth are you doing, my friend? I thought he was running down here. I didn't realise he was going diagonal. Right, we can go in the field then. I thought he was running down this way. That's what I mean about there's no depth perception in this game, because it honestly looked like he was going straight down here. Everybody else now listening to me, watching watching their phones and tablets and TVs, this video, are going, no, he was definitely going diagonal. It's just you, mate. You're a bit thick, which is fine. Have I got him on one headland? Is that what the issue is here? Have I just got him on do one headland? I didn't check that, did I? Oh, I probably should have done that. Might be me. Well, it's sort of a mixture of me and him, because he still shouldn't have come diagonally across the field. Hence the reason why I don't have crop destruction on, because that's just silly. You know, if he were to, if you had to start in this corner, then at least drive around the bit that you've already harvested to get here. But anyway, it's done now. Yeah, so I said to Adrian one day, I said, I wouldn't mind going on the lorry, out on the lorry, and seeing what they're up to. And I was on the P team a few weeks later. Adrian came to me. I was ploughing. In Norfolk. Was ploughing in. Havisham, Easham, something like that, in Norfolk, and it was right up near Norwich. And I was busy ploughing away, and I was there working for. I was sort of on contract, and it was an estate that had. I can't remember what the circumstances surrounding the whole thing were, but they were ploughing pretty much everything in, and as I say, they were ploughing all of the crops in and that, and I was up there ploughing. It's about 2,000 acres, and farm manager Adrian came up there and he said to me, he said, like, how long do you think this is going to take you? And I said, like, it's going to, I'm going to be a couple of weeks. And he said, okay. He said, try and have it done within the 2 weeks if you can. So I was like, right. He said, because you're on the P team this year. So I was like, oh, fantastic. Anyway, was on the P team, and again we was out near King's Lynn, and Adrian came. This young lad got out of the truck with him, and he came over and he said, this young lad is being trained because we want him to go on here, because we want you to go back ploughing. So I said, right. He said, but if you could train him. So I said, yeah, okay, fair enough. So anyway, I trained him, and a couple of hours late, what on earth are you doing now? No, there's no errors. I don't know. Well, he needs to unload. Yeah, so I trained him for a couple. I was there for a couple of hours, and anyway, Adrian came back and then said to me, he said, right. He said, how's he doing? I said, yeah, he's all right now. I said, he can manage it now. So he said, good. And he just said, right, take your dinner tin, come with me. So anyway, I went with him because it was quite a big field, and so he sort of drove us back down to the other end of the field, and he stopped at the end of the field and he went, right, you're going in that one apparently. I said, huh? He said, you're going in that one. I said, what do you mean I'm going in that one? He said, are you going in that one? I said, Adrian, I haven't got an HGV licence. And he went, yeah, you have. I said, well, yeah. I said, technically I have. I said, but it only enables me to drive a Challenger on the road. I said, it doesn't enable me to drive a HGV lorry. I said, I've not taken the test or nothing. He said, you've got a Challenger's licence. I said, yeah. He said, and that allows you to drive a HGV. I said, Adrian, I sometimes go to the wrong field, and you expecting me to drive halfway across the country to the factory? I said, when are you expecting me back? Next year? And he said, no, I'm only kidding. He said, but you can go with you can go for a ride in there. He said, and it was one of their own lorry, like one of the farm's lorries. He said you can go in there, and he said you can go with I can't remember what the bloke's name was, but he said you can go with him. He said, and you can go to the factory. He said, and then when you get to the factory, he said both of you are getting a little bit of a tour of the factory as well. He said I've set it up for you. So I said, oh, okay. I said, well, thank you. I said, I really appreciate that. He said, well, I know you're interested in all that stuff. He said, like you know, he said, the thing I like about you, he said, is you do the work. He said, but you're always interested about, well, hang on, this is only one small part of a food, you know, a food type or whatever. You like to see sort of from beginning to end, don't you? And I said, well, yeah. I said, I do. I said, because it's interesting. I said, not only that, I said, if more people got to see from beginning to end, I said, more people would appreciate food and there'd be less food waste, because they'd realise what, you know, we as farmers and everything have to go through in order to get that food from the field, you know, to the plate. I said, but it doesn't begin at the field, you know, it begins at the seed factory. And you know, I said, like, you know, I said, I think people should be made aware of what's going on. I have no idea what he's doing. I think we're going to have one hell of a mess by the time we get to the end here, and I'm going to end up having to go on the pea viner myself and actually harvesting the peas. I should have just done that and just emptied it myself, and just because honestly, this is bleeding ridiculous. I'll go round the telegraph pole, shall I? I didn't see it there because I was actually looking at him. See, this is another thing, like, you know, this is what the patch has done. Because I was doing something the other day. I was on Calmsden. I was just having a little mess about on there, and doing one or two little bits. And I noticed that the helpers were. So I did it over the course of 2 days. What I was doing, I was kind of seeing if I could set something up for a YouTube video, but in the end, it wasn't quite possible. But so I sort of tried to set it up, and as I say, it turned out not to be possible. But on the first day, I hadn't installed the patch, and honestly, it harvested the field absolutely perfectly. And I thought, well, at least they've got the helper system right, you know. At the end of that day, up, you know, downloaded the patch, installed the patch. Next day, went back onto Calmsden to have a, you know, to try and do what I needed to do. And lo and behold, the helper was basically doing this. And I assumed it was because it was, you know, sort of Calmsden, and I was in an awkward shaped field, and that's what I assumed. And I thought, well, you know, we are in an awkward shaped field, and it is a bit tricky here. But it looks as if that might not be the case, because this is a relatively square field in terms of being able to work this field. So I genuinely don't know why it's missing all of that crop and doing all of this business. I mean, I kind of get that a little bit, just because, as I've said, it does help you to turn, you know, to obviously get around the corner in, you know, such a long, you know, harvester. So I sort of get that bit, because that bit's kind of real. That's what they would do in real life. You know, you would have one pea viner that would always go ahead and would cut all the corners out, so that when all the others got into the field, they could just keep going round. So you'd always have one pea viner ahead of the other one that would go, you know, that we would sort of say would be on corner duty, you know. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to switch back to some time lapse, and we're going to watch this disaster unfold before our very eyes, and we'll see where we're at when we get towards the end of this piece of time lapse. But yeah, like I say, I'm not very happy, if I'm honest. There's a lot of P's being missed here, and I just have no idea what he's doing. I genuinely don't. And like I say, the worker system on the game for me wasn't the thing that was broken, and this is what the the patch has done. And this is why I sort of kind of sometimes say I find it really hard to play Fs25, because I just like, what are you doing? Like, you're literally driving up and down the same bit over and over and over again. Look. But I didn't want to have to harvest it and do the tractor and trailering, because that obviously takes and eats up quite a lot of time within the episode, and it just looks a lot more authentic if the P-Viner's going around the field by himself and I'm just unloading him and then loading that trailer up, the red trailer up with this with this trailer. Oh well. At least we can all play the VR version of the game that's coming out. Is it this week or next week? Because we all know that that's, where most of the players are going to be from now on. Jesus, not. And then, as well as having a really broken game and announcing, hooray, we've got a VR game coming out, they then also announce, by the way, the game's broken, and, we really sort of can't be bothered to fix it. Don't suppose you'd buy the DLC offers, would you? It's like, normally when DLCs come out, I sort of think, yeah, well, I'll show my support. Not this time. Be very surprised if I end up buying any of the DLCs that come out for the game. Gotta be honest. Just honestly, it's shocking, this game. Anyway, before I start getting into a rant that no one wants to hear, I'm going to go over to some time lapse. So I'll speak to you all again. So, I'm back. But for this little disaster, it's not been going too bad, as you can see. Alright, we've got the, as you've also seen as well, we've got the Chally in the field today. He's got the cultivator on the back. We'll get this turned over. But I have now got to wait now until he's finished the field completely before I can come back, do this bit, and then carry on. But that doesn't matter when that happens as such, because what we're going to do is there's going to be a few tractor swaps around, i.e. the Massey Ferguson's going to go on to the pre-ridger, and then we're going to have the McCormick coming onto the trailer, and then that way we'll be able to, I don't know why it harvested up to there and then buggered off. I just don't get that. That's crazy. Anyway, but it did sort the mess out that it did sort of the first time round in terms of how it was doing the headlands and that, and it did eat the rest that it had missed. So I was relatively impressed with that, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. it's a work in progress. We'll say that much. You know, it's we'll say that. But yeah, so we're as I say, we're cracking on quite nicely. I don't know if it's a bit jumpy, this edit, well, not this edit, but this video, sort of the second sort of time lapse. If it's a bit bitty and it keeps sort of cutting in and out, it's because for some reason, yet again, my recording software just decided that every now and again it was just going to sort of switch itself off. So I'm going to have a rest for 5 minutes, James, if you don't mind. I've been recording this now for, a good couple of hours. I'm going to have a rest. I'm going to just chill out. It's like, no, we're making video. You need to record. But yeah, so if it is a little bit, I'll try and edit it so that it isn't. But if it is, then that's the reason why. See, it's carried on there, okay? So why not there? Just don't get it. Don't get it. But of course now it's held me up because I can't. Well, I sort of can get on because once it gets far enough this side, then I can go this side and just carry on. Leave this bit here. Invariably, in real life, we would have the pea viners in when we were in our fields. So the pea viners were owned by a co-op, which meant that all the farms in the area from Wisbech to Kings Lynn to Norwich, well, not quite as far as Norwich actually, but sort of Kings Lynn, and then sort of coming through all the way through Lincolnshire up into Boston and that. So all of the farms would have paid in a set amount and bought the pea viners. And then each year, depending on the farm size and depending on how much they contributed towards the viners, would be how much, the acreage of peas that they could grow. And then what we would do is when they were on our land, invariably, which is why I was surprised I could do it and delighted that I could do it. But we would have had the pea viners in. Now we would have ploughed after the peas, just to give us a tilth and to give us a bit of a seedbed. But we all know that ploughing in this game is shocking, and I'm just not doing it. So we'll cultivate, but I would have been ploughing this field, and then behind me they would have come in and planted the carrots. So when I saw that the option in this particular game is also available for me to do that, because you can plant carrots in July, I was like, oh wow, we used to do this in real life, so that's what we'll do then. So yeah, as I say, once we get this strip out, I can carry on cultivating. We'll then get Chally back to the farm, and then excuse me, and then once we got, as I say, once we got him back to the farm, bring the McCormick back, put the McCormick on the Bailey trailer, take the Massey Ferguson to the shop, get the ridger, and then we can come back and ridge. Again, we'll be leaving a headland. We won't be planting the headlands either, just because again that makes a mess of that as well. Just because it hasn't got full terrain angle, is it called, or something? So again, it will look like an absolute mess on the headland, but yeah, that's what we'll be doing. But anyway, I'm going to leave this episode here for now. So when we come back next time, we'll be finishing the peas, and we will also hopefully have enough time to get on as well and start the wheat. But if not, we'll definitely be finishing the peas, we'll definitely be finishing the cultivator, and then we will get this ridged, and then I will ridge and sow it myself, just so as it's done the way that I want it done. Unfortunately, so I was using Courseplay in this save, and the reason I was using Courseplay for this save was obviously I wanted to do a few bits and pieces with Courseplay that would do a better job than the in-game job. One of those jobs being that I could have the combine running by itself. I could park the tractor and trailer on the end of the field, and I could get the combine to self-unload, which meant I didn't have to be there all the time, so it meant I could get on with other stuff. But for whatever reason, and it hasn't done it until now, until today when I tried to load the game in, but Courseplay is now throwing up a lot of errors and it won't let my game load. Now, clearly it's not Courseplay that's doing it, but something is interacting with Courseplay which is causing that to be the case. I might possibly know which mod it is, to be fair. So I'm going to uninstall that mod and then put Courseplay back and see if that does work, because I know it's not Courseplay because I've been playing now for quite a few episodes of Courseplay, or the option of having Courseplay, even though we haven't really used it that much. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing. But as I say, for this episode I am going to leave it here, and then in the next episode we will carry on with the peas. We haven't got all that much more to do now, and then we'll carry on with the cultivate and we'll get the carrots in, and then hopefully there'll be enough time in that episode as well to also start the wheat harvest. And then if there is enough time and that wheat does get off before the end of July, because we're only on 1 day's months here, so if by the end of today, computer day, the wheat is off, we will then get carrots into those fields as well, and then we'll harvest the carrots off those fields in the winter, or autumn/winter, and then what we'll do is those two fields will still become rice next year. So we'll we sort of got an opportunity at the moment to double crop fields, and that's when you become, as a business, more than efficient, and that's the sort of thing that we're going to be looking to do, because the option is there for us. And the next thing as well that I want to do is more land as well, and then start growing spinach, because we've now leased out the canning factory, and so I want to get that up and running as well, and getting everything we can in there as well. So yeah, just keep busy expanding really, and eventually what will happen is we'll completely buy. I know it means we've got to give Walter money, but that's compensation for putting cockerels right outside his back door, a sawmill right in front of his front door, and bees around the rest of the house when we get round to putting the bees around the rest of the house. Yeah, as I say, to give him a little bit of money for his land so that he has no land and he just lives in a life of misery is going to be absolutely sweet. But as I say, we'll in the next episode we'll come back and we'll get everything sorted and finished. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks ever so much for watching. If you haven't done already, please don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help the algorithm, and to hit that subscribe button as well, because that really helps to keep my spirits up too. I'm only kidding. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.